Hey TV fans, Bored now, back with you. On this video I will be talking about Yellowjackets Season 1, Episode 8. The episode is called Flight of the Bumblebee. Full spoilers from the start of this review. This is a really strong episode, I think. One of my favourite episodes of the season so far. It might be my favourite up to now. So it's a Laura Lee focused episode, and because we start with her, like her flashback, it seems when we get to the end of the episode, or at least when we get to her fate in the episode, it makes that even more fitting than we start off with her and we get her backstory, because the way she ends up in the episode is really unexpected, because a lot of times when we get a character's backstory, it doesn't quite end up like that later on, so it leads to good drama, but once again it just gives us a little bit more of a background, a little bit more meat on exactly why the character has gone in the direction it has. In her case, it deals with her religion, how she became religious in the first place, so showing that she hasn't always, but as quite a young girl, she almost drowns at a swimming pool. She's saved by the lifeguard. He's got like a cross on, like round his neck, and because it is such a, to use a cliche term, such a miracle, because she almost seems like her life has gone and it's a tragic, and this is her point of view anyway, but just the way she sees it as like this intervention from God, and it's from there that she starts believing, and it fits the themes of the episode very well, and the themes of Laura Lee in the episode very well, because later on when she decides to fly this aeroplane and decide she's going to fly out of there and get help, a lot of that and the chance she's taking is to do with fate and to do with this idea of she is in the hands of the quote-unquote God. So that's really on point with what we get set up with at the start of the episode, and there's definitely a link to like religion or believing, having faith, because faith is a very broad concept. It's something which you can believe in and kind of go to in many different ways. It doesn't just have to be religious. You can just be a very like positive person and just believe that you can do these things or do certain things. But Laura Lee's one of those examples of a good like supporting character who we have slowly got meat on as the season has gone on, and they've done quite a nice job of that. I said in another video that sometimes in these stories it's quite easy to like rag on the religious characters and to make fun of them, to make them look like they're not the nicest of people. So it's a credit that they have like made Laura Lee more likeable than maybe she first appeared. Now early on a lot of the girls were mocking her and she was definitely taking her religion too seriously, but that can just be put down to her being young, her being quite naive, and you know sometimes people for obvious reasons do take their faith to heart. And things like the girls mocking her is just something you do when you're younger. Like if you're not a believer, you see others who are, you do tend to have a bit of fun with them. So that's very like relatable and authentic, I think. But yeah, it's a credit to the writing, how they've grown Laura Lee throughout the show. Just gentle bits. So a couple of episodes when she helped Lottie when she baptized her, because Lottie was worried about the vision she was getting, like is she being punished by God, that kind of thing. So that was again a good character beat, because even though you might not be religious watching the show, and you might think, well, it's a load of old rubbish, it's not going to make any difference. It doesn't really matter. It's just comes down to Laura Lee's doing this for Lottie. Laura Lee's helping out her friend. She's doing something nice for someone else. It doesn't really matter whether like people watching the show are religious or not, and put much heed in this stuff. It's just a good character moment for Laura Lee. And once again, this aeroplane stuff is great investment, great drama for her character and for the overall stakes of the thing, because when she starts flying the plane, the drama of the scene is really captivating. Now, I always suspected then there was going to be a cruel twist. I always suspected something was going to happen and the plane was going to crash, just because the way they was ramping it up, and at one point it appeared as though she was like flying and she was on her way, and it just seemed natural then for the sake of drama, so, like you would have that, like there would be a cruel twist of fate with her. But it doesn't change the fact that it's a very well directed scene. Again, little parallels with Lost, like just like stuff with them and the raft in Lost when they were like setting off, and you had all the people back on the island like cheering them on. And it's just this thing that brings them together as a group. But that's what I partly like about the scene, is the reactions of the rest of the group. First of all, watching and cheering her on, and as it looks like she's gonna do it, and she obviously, like, she gets the plane off the ground and it is flying at one point, so that alone is like a big achievement, and it's a great sort of fist punch moment, even though you then get the twist in the next moment. But so their reactions, how they start cheering and banding together, is just a great moment on the show for these characters, because they come together. They've all had their differences. There's been friction amongst pretty much all of them. So just to have this moment where they're cheering on Laura Lee and they react to it, and then just to see it hit them like out of nowhere, the plane goes up, it blows up, and their reaction, like Jackie's, particularly her shock face, like the way she puts her hand over her mouth. So it's really well sold. My only complaint with the scene is like the CGI fire, like in the sky. I think once again that's probably showing a little bit how low budget the show is. So that's like a small nitpick. It doesn't look terrible, like it looks reasonably enough, but it's just something where I could tell then it was like CGI fire. But it's a small complaint because the scene works so well dramatically. And yeah, it's a real kick in the teeth, and because they've built Laura Lee up in this episode, you do like really feel for her, because you are rooting for her to succeed. But once again, it's an intriguing scene because of the mystery of it, the mystery of what exactly happens. And they're going for a little bit of black humour, because she's got this teddy bear with her in the compartment in the seat next to her. And it's just this ironic sort of twist, and it's the teddy bear that goes up in flames, and that leads to the plane blowing up. So, but you just have this mystery of, once again in this show, is it supernatural, is it not? Yeah, did something supernatural bring the plane down because it doesn't want them leaving the island? It doesn't want, like, Laura Lee getting away and getting help, or is it just like a random thing? Did something just go wrong with the engine and there's something to do with that? I just like the ambiguity of it, and how it definitely adds like meat to the mystery of the show. But really good scene, really effective, and obviously, it's a bummer to see Laura Lee go, but it's a good way to go. It's like a triumphant sort of character beat, where she was literally, excuse the pun, but reaching for the sky, and then that happened. So good stuff with Laura Lee in this episode. So there's a little bit more drama with the teens in the 90s. Travis and Natalie break up after Travis has trouble performing sexually. So once again, that's maybe again showing Natalie being a little bit cold when it comes to like intimacy, which is consistent with her character in the present. And Travis actually talks to Ben about it, and they have a nice little scene. And it's revealed that Ben is gay. Like, he comes out to Travis, and it's a really fun scene where he starts shouting, like, I'm gay, deal with it, all this. And I think he even makes a comment about God, but that's a good little scene. And I speculated on another video that Travis could be gay. I just had that feeling that maybe that's why he has, like, where he's awkward performing perhaps, and just that maybe there's a little bit of bravado hiding his real sexuality is something that crossed my mind. So I think that's possible. And we also get the dramatic opening to the episode, which I really like, was when it looked like Van might be dead after what happened to her last episode, and they sell it very well. It's really graphic and brutal. Her face is so messed up. So they try to save her by using fire to burn out wounds, which is something that has been used many times before. But they're kind of last chance saloon. Maybe you might say it's a bit extreme. They're jumping to that close, but they're sort of convinced it's the only way really to heal her wound. So that's what they do, and it works. But there's this fake out where it looks like it hasn't worked, and then because like after it hasn't worked, they're like convinced that they have to burn the body, but suddenly she snaps out of it at the last minute, and she has a really Blacksley funny line, which is, really, fire, what the fuck, or something along those lines. And I think that's before it cuts to like the opening title, so that's a really funny moment, her reaction to that. But once again, good stakes, a bit like the Laura Lee stuff. There was stakes on it where they sold me on this could be it for Van. They might have lost her, and then she pulls around, and the way they do it is very like gripping and yeah, good stuff to watch. So once again, pretty good stuff, like really solid stuff in the past scenes. So in the present day, things start to move with like the mystery of things with like Misty and Natalie. And in the scene of the episode, just for a great belly laugh, and it's one of those scenes which everybody remembers who's seen the show at least once. So Natalie is getting more and more depressed, and she's starting to relapse. So she starts going back to the coke, and she's about to like shoot up. And Misty, who of course has been keeping tabs on her through the camera, she runs in and she shoots the coke up herself. I love it, because that's what makes it so funny, is that she actually shoots the coke up. It's not like she runs in and stops Natalie, like shoves her away from the coke or swipes the coke away. She actually shoots it up. So that's almost her way of saving her friend, which, yeah, it is really, because she's shooting it up so she can't. But it's just this wacky, misty way of doing it, which is just great. I absolutely love that scene so much. And Natalie's reaction. So much of the best scenes from this series has been Misty and Natalie just playing off each other, because they just wind each other up so much. It leads to some great scenes between them two. And it's at that point where the camera's revealed, like it's revealed Misty has been watching her, and that's when like Natalie just starts going crazy again. That really makes things worse. So Misty then tells Natalie then someone emptied Travis's bank account the day after he died, which is suspicious for obvious reasons. So then Natalie contacts this Suzanne, who's someone she knows who works at the bank, and I think it's a friend from school who she hasn't seen for years, but she wants her to find out who emptied the account. And when Suzanne refuses, because it's like, this isn't above board, I could get fired, Natalie like blackmails her, so in the end she's like forced into doing it. So we're obviously going to wait for that reveal. And there's more meaty stuff when it comes to the mystery with Shona, because her and Adam at previous episode have slept together, but it's later on Shona finds out more about Adam, than he's not who he says he is. He has like a secret identity. Then he has been researching her on the internet. I think she finds the book at his, so then he has been like researching her, which definitely looks a bit dodgy. And to add to her suspicions, like her journals have all gone missing, and she finds glitter there. So, and there was glitter obviously on the guy whoever's blackmailing them when they chased him. So the two things sort of lead her towards, could it be Adam? And so she goes after him, and that's leading on to the next episode. But that's a cliffhanger on that side. And when it comes to Thaisa, she opens up to Simone about what's been happening to her and her sleepwalking and the different things. Simone, did I say? I might have said that the wrong way around. Sorry if I did. Thaisa tells Simone. I think I said it the right way. I'm having a moment. But yeah, she tells Simone about what's been happening with the sleepwalking and her condition. And she says she's just worried she'll do something bad to Sammy. So can you get him out of the house for me? So that's the thing with them. As I said, really good episode. I think this is one of the best episodes of the season, I would say, up to this point. I remember really liking the Dollhouse, the one I did with Yellowjackets Hive podcast, so that was a really strong one, and this is a strong one. The episode I'm doing next probably is my favourite episode, but yeah, this episode here might be my favourite of the season up to that one anyway. So it's a good sign that we're sort of ramping up with like 2 or 3 good episodes at the end of the season. And I do remember that being a thing when I first watched the show, where it was a little bit slow in the early episodes and then it's gradually started kicking into high gear, and I just remember really binging the last 3 or 4 because by that point the mystery elements were ramping up and I was really getting into it. So yeah, good stuff. I loved the Laura Lee stuff. There was some good tension with what was going to happen with Van, and most of what was happening, the drama, the Natalie Misty stuff once again was satisfying. So all round this was definitely one of the strongest episodes of the season in my opinion. So that's Yellowjackets episode 8, Flight of the Bumblebee. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Like and subscribe as always. And don't forget, I will be covering season 2 of the Yellowjackets on the station. I will be, that starts on Friday, so I'll be doing episode 1. You can expect that review up probably Friday. If not, it will be Saturday at the latest. So watch out for the rest of season 1 reviews and then season 2. And just to promote another TV thing, which is a little bit older and more retro, but me and Rachel McDonald are covering Buffy the Vampire Slayer. We're doing it in season-long videos, so like one video for like the whole seasons, but we do really meaty discussions where we go through the seasons in quite a lot of detail, and they're always fun discussions. We've done the first 3 up to now. We also do like a special best and worst episodes video as well, which we record separately, and we come up with MVPs and stuff. So each season we definitely cover in a lot of depth and have some really fun discussions. So if you're a fan of the show and you want to join in the conversation, then do check out those videos. We've done the first 3 seasons and we will be back soon. We're going to record actually the review for season 4 this weekend, so you can jump in and catch up with those other 3s and get ready for our season 4 discussion. But thanks for watching or listening. Keep watching TV, and I'll see you guys again soon.
Natalie, Steve! What the fuck will not let you get off my coat? You. Oh, burn! Is that normal? You're possessed! What? Don't breathe that! Don't breathe that!